name is Jackson King. I'm 21. I'm from Austin, Texas. And I love cats a lot. And mountains. Probably way more than I should. What else do I need to say?
Who's your first crush?
Oh, my first crush! My first crush was in the 3rd grade to a girl named Brittany Hodnett. And I don't remember liking girls up until this point in my life. I didn't like guys, necessarily. I don't remember liking anybody, really. I didn't even know what race was until I was in, like, the 6th grade, so this didn't make any sense, clearly. So I remember her and her twin sister lived down the street from me and used to come over to my best friend's house, and we used to just do whatever 3rd grade people who have a crush on each other do, you know, pal around, be goofy, and nothing ever happened with that girl, but she was really cute, though. Brittany? Yeah. Oh, man. My first kiss was in the 7th grade with a girl right next to the bus. Her name was Sydney Randall, and she had she had green eyes, and is still dating the same guy that she broke up with me to be with. Holy crap, I just remembered this. And we kissed right outside the bus, and it was just kind of like just a little peck, but it was like the most exhilarating thing ever at that moment in my life, I suppose. And I remember running away being like, oh my god. And anyway, that was 7th grade. Fun. Oh god. Tinder and other dating apps, I would have to say I'm not very good at it. And the only reason I say I'm not good at it is because I'm not the face of Tinder. I'm not the let's party on 6th Street type. I'm not the handsome football player. I'm none of that. I'm like, yeah, I play guitar, and you know, sometimes I like to hang out with my friends, and I like video games, but you can't get that across on Tinder without sounding like, yeah, just swipe me left. Just do it. Just go ahead. I give up. I'm not ready for this. So every now and then you get a girl who's like, all right, I'll give him a shot. I'll take some pity on this one. Let me just see what he's all about. But never is it more than a couple sentences, you know. But Tinder's goofy. Best date I ever had. You're gonna have to give me a moment on that one. Okay, I know the best date I ever had. It was right before I went to college. It was like 2 weeks before I was going to go to college. And I wouldn't necessarily call it a date, but it was like me going out of my way to spend time with this girl, which is, you know, basically my equivalent to a date, given that I don't really date many girls. So I'm just going to go on a limb here and say, it just sticks in my mind. We went all the way out to her lake house on this itty bitty teeny tiny lake. It's a pathetic lake. It's more like a pond, but it had these cool houses all around the lake, and we laid out on her back this dock that led out into this you know fairly sized body of water. And it happened to just be by chance the same night that there was this giant meteor shower. Like the biggest meteor shower in literally like 50 years, 60 years or something crazy like that. So we had never spent more than like a couple hours together. And here I am like out to spend the night at this girl's lake house with this girl pretty much like all by her lonesome. And like I didn't know what I was getting into, but like we were seeing this meteor shower, having this sort of out-of-world experience, and then eventually this giant meteor comes by, lights up the entire sky, and I was like, alright, well, I'm never going to forget this moment. I looked over to her and I said those exact words, well, I'm never going to forget this night, and then we went inside, and, you know, that was kind of the main highlight of that. I'm not going to go into too much detail on that one, but that's that, meteor shower. Not. Okay, the worst date I ever had. Well, my dates are never typical. I mean, at least I've been on a couple typical dates, but they just feel stupid because society, no, I hate the customs. I hate the expectations that come with a typical date. That's just so, feels gross. It feels fake. Like, I'd rather just sit down with you over a cup of coffee and be like, all right, let's hash this out. Who are you? So, the worst date I ever went on was with this girl that I loved in high school. We were like, we were in all the plays together. We were like the power couple of our group, and until, you know, everybody came to be like, all right, what's happening here? Y'all are getting something stupid again. So anyway, we went to Chili's, and, you know, everything was fine and dandy, but, you know, we kind of do our, like, routine where, like, I take her back to her car, or she takes me back to my car, wherever, like, we met up that day, usually at the school, and we, like, just talk about stuff for hours. Like, we just talk, and she told me that she kissed one of my old best friends, and first off, I think he's gross as a person. I don't like who he became in growing up with him, and so we don't talk anymore. And so she told me this, that she kissed him when we weren't dating in a period of time, and I didn't know how to handle that. And literally, I just said, I knew I was about to throw up. So I said, hold on one second, went about 10 feet behind a dumpster, and just proceeded to throw up just everything I just ate at Chili's. And that's probably the reason. I've been to Chili's once since then, and that's probably the reason I don't want to go back to Chili's ever again, was because I puked my brains out in front of this girl. And then probably, I think junior year of high school, I got so nervous, I threw up my Chili's. Oh, God. It comes in waves, Bailey. I think you need to understand this about me. When I see a girl, I go, alright, let's put this on a scale. Is she attractive? Yes, no. Alright, cool, she is. Alright. Now, will she think anything of me if I say anything to her at all? Yes, no. Alright. Now, how loud can I be around this girl is usually the third thought I have. And if I can't necessarily be super loud, I give up at that point. So, if I think that she can handle me when I'm being loud and, like, at my, like, most caffeinated, probably, I'd probably just assume, like, alright, this is it, I'm doing it, I'm gonna go for this girl. And that doesn't last, you know, like, more than a day or two, but let's say, like, something happens, like, let's say this girl, like, says something back to me and, like, shows me interest, I freeze. I freeze instantly. My instinct is to just shut down, give up, like, I can't handle this emotion of feeling emotions for somebody. This is crazy. So most of the time, it's not anything rational or reasonable for that matter. So, yeah, just a lot of fear, anxiety. I'm gonna have to say, I want to say the booty, but I can't say that because I know that's not what I see first. I'm gonna say it's definitely a girl's eyes. If I like women, I'm gonna state that, being that you can't tell that I've been speaking about women the whole time. So if a girl has big, or not even big eyes, if she has just like the right eyes for like her face, if those like if she can work those eyes in like that sort of typical like girls do something. If they give you the look, like, God forbid they give you the look in public, because, good Lord, like, it's literally everything to me. If a girl can just do that with her eyes, like, I'm butter. I'm butter on a hot biscuit. Like, take me to church, please. Like, that's, yeah. Heartbreak, to me, I mean, I'm a lover, not a fighter. I'll start with that. When I love deep. I love hard. I want to love and I want to be loved. I think that's more of my expectation of people. I just want to, like, especially of, like, my significant other, like, I want them to love me. Like, even if, like, Like, this is our second date. Like, I want you to love me. That is my goal in this relationship. Like, I will do anything. So help me. As long as at the end of the day, you somewhat think I'm cool. Like, if I'm a step closer to you loving me, like, then I'm doing the right thing. So, and, you know, that's ignoring all the stuff I would do for a woman. But heartbreak. I give roundabout answers to things. So heartbreak is really the most crushing thing I can think of. I cry. I'm a crier if I get my heart broken. Like, I will instantly just waterworks, and it's like not something I'm proud of. But God, like, if I feel like I get my heart broken more often than not because I have that expectation for people. Like, I want that person to love me so much that I put myself in it, you know? I put myself in the way of, like, my own rationality. So heartbreak for me is literally the complete separation of me and her as, like, a thing. And that's probably not healthy and, you know, will change with age, but heartbreak is devastating. Like, I can't even make that funny. Like, it's the opposite of everything that is me, you know, like, I hope to be loved by my friends, I hope to be loved by my family, and, you know, like, I don't get that back, like, God, I don't know what to do, like, I'm not a rational person, you know, I'm assuming these are all normal things to some degree, but I know that I feel it for a long time after, like, I know after a relationship, or after a couple relationships, I've had, like, onset anxiety, like, waking up in the morning just doesn't, like, I literally, like, I can't eat, like, I get sick, like, physically sick to my stomach for hours, like, ooh, talking about it's getting me kind of, like, off kilter, but, heartbreak is something I don't want to mess with. I don't want to put my finger in terms of, of, like, yeah, I want that, I mean, who wants that, but, no, it's the opposite of me. I don't know, that's the best way to describe it. Like what, like, a breakup routine? I'm gonna take this as, because you started it without giving me any clarification here, I'm just gonna take this as, like, what do I do? So, I get home, I probably tell my mom. You know, I said that I don't eat when I experience heartbreak, which is true, but I know that in the past I've gone to Walmart with my mom or H-E-B, and I bought a pound cake and a giant bag of Lay's, and I've sat on the couch like just half in tears watching a movie, just eating pound cake and a bag of Lay's. And that's, like, pretty, like typical, but, like, I'm not that person, like, normally. I don't sit around, like, wallowing in pound cake and bags of Lay's. Like, I play video games, like, I do other things, but that just shuts me down. So it's a lot of introspective laying in the bed and hoping that my friend Megan will walk me back onto solid ground and reassure me that I'm not gonna be fat from all the Lay's and pound cake that I just ate. So I've been in love too many times, Bailey. I mean, I don't know how many is too many. I guess people have been in love more than me, I hope. I hope for my sake, but I'd say I've been in love 3 times four times genuinely in my life. Like, I know I've said I love you, like, 2 other times, and I'm sorry. I'm so sorry to those girls, but I was confused, I was young and naive, but I've been in love 4 times. When I was in 8th grade, I fell in love with a girl for the first time. And I know I had a girlfriend before that I said I loved, but I'd never felt this way about anybody in my life. And I dated her for over 1.5 years, and she was just really rude and really mean to me and just not a pleasant person, you know. Like, I loved her. Like, I just couldn't help it. And then when I got over that took a little while, and then I fell in love with a girl probably, you know, sophomore year. I fell in love with this girl who was, like, my counterpart for a lot of theater things. And, that's sort of natural attraction, like the more time you spend around somebody. But freshman year, we had to kiss each other in the musical. So, I mean, that's, like, the perfect segue into, like, loving somebody for extended periods of time. Like, yeah, just, like, forcible attraction. I don't know. And then I fell in love again my freshman year of college with a girl who lived in the same residence hall as me. You probably know her well, Bailey. And that felt like a decade. But I mean, I feel like my perception of time is pretty blown. And then I guess I want to say my last relationship I was in love. And I wasn't in love for the same reason that I was in love with all these other girls before. It wasn't emotional as much as, like, it just kind of made sense to love that person, and that's an interesting thing about love. Like, you can love people for different reasons and you can feel love in different ways, but, like, this girl, I loved her for, like, I think we loved each other for the function of love itself, like, what love, like, meant, and, like, how it, like, made us feel in that, like, sort of vulnerable space. And yeah, it was really weird when that ended, because it was like, yeah, like, it makes sense why, like, you can't feel that way, but, like, I know why you did love me in that moment, sort of thing. Like, I could tell, like, these girls, like, yeah, I loved you for that time, and, like, why I felt that way, but it'll never, like, I mean, obviously you won't get the feeling back, but when I like to think of, like, memories, I like to think of, like, the feeling more than I like to think about the actual happenings. So love to me is very fond, because I am a lover, and I love to love, so it's like, I don't know, it's a part of it. It's fun. Yeah. No. And I say that because I'm probably a little jaded, after some happenings in my experience of being on the receiving end of that. And I guess for the same reason that you can love different people for different reasons, I don't think that you can, like, I'm very absolute. I mean, in terms of, like, how I do things, or how, like, what I mean by, when I say something, I mean it most of the time. And if I don't mean it, I'm going to apologize for it later and say, like, yeah, like, that clearly wasn't true. I'm going to make up for that. But usually when I say things, like, I stand by them, and I give a warning, I love you, and this is what I'm going to get from you, and this is what I hope to get from you, and then if you do something else, so I don't know. I feel like it's kind of a binding contract with that person, and some people have different, like, terms, and so loving two people at once to me just doesn't make sense, because you're spreading yourself too thin, and you're not giving, like, the person the time of day, and, like, there's love for your family, and there's love for your significant other, and, like, you can love people, but you can't, like, be in love with two people. Like, is, like, assuming that you're, like, actively loving each and every moment with two different people, which is clearly not true. Like, you can't, like, truly do that if you're actively, like, having to say, like, yeah, I'm gonna not love this person for a little while, or yeah, like, I do, but I can't, like, when I'm alone. It just doesn't check out to me. Love is an emotion more than anything else, to me. And love is really, like, a binding agent to a lot of relationships. And if you love somebody, yes, you're more inclined to be in love with them. But love is sort of complicated because you want it, but when it happens to you, it's like everything you never wanted to happen to you. Because then you have to deal with it. And it's like yeah, like I love dating girls, but I have to actually, like, date girls. Like and it's hard. It's giving a part of yourself to somebody else in hopes that they don't drop it on the floor and you have to
sweep it up. So, I mean, that's kind of pessimistic, but, when it's good, it's good. Like, please, don't let me discourage anybody from, loving, because, love is, probably better than any drug you can ever ask for. Your brain just, chemically can't handle it to any degree, and, a lot of people, some people compare love to drugs, and, the way it feels, and sort of that higher understanding of, what it means to be a human, but, in a lot of ways, love is, the thing that humans have that no other species will ever, have cognitively, because they've never put a word to it. We put a word to a feeling. A dog can't say, yeah, this time woof means love, and every time I feel excited, I'm going to say woof, because woof means a jillion other things. That's specific to us, and, the one thing that separates us from... It's incredible. It's incredible. Well, I'm not going to look at you too hard, I hope. Just kidding. Never, ever, ever, ever stop yourself from loving somebody. Never, ever. No matter who it is, no matter where you are in life, you gotta be open to it. And I might give people shit for, going back on love. I might feel bad because love didn't work out for them to me. But I'm never, ever gonna say that they were wrong for loving me in that moment. Or I'm never gonna, think that it was bad to love them in that moment. It might have been yeah, I'm glad I'm not with that person anymore. Yeah, that would have been bad for me to actually, be around them, but, not to love them. Love is the, I want to take care of you sort of thing. So be ready to deal with it in more pessimistic terms, but just be open to it. Keep your eyes, peeled, because if you feel it, you won't know what it is. And if you can grab it, then it's if you can grab it and then pick it up, it's like Thor's hammer. You're chosen. You're oh, I did, guys, everybody look, I got the hammer. It's in my hand. And then God forbid you just lose your virtue and it just goes thunk right back into the ground and you can never lift it again. But lift it high, hold it really, really, really high, and swing it around and fly in the air and shoot lightning, and don't ever don't hold yourself back, because that's the one thing that people do the most. And the more opportunities and experiences and stuff that you have to experience love, the more you'll understand what love means to you, and how you can teach people that you do love about what it means and what it should mean and what you expect them and how you expect them to love you. And because people deserve love. Everybody deserves love. Everybody deserves to feel love. And if you haven't, by circumstance, then that's okay. I respect that. If you just don't feel inclined to love somebody, that happens. But always keep your heart open to love, because it's not a person, it's not a place. It's just something that erupts from inside you like a sun or lightning from the sky.